Hey everybody, I thought I would do a little check-in with all of you just to see how everything's going. I appreciate all of you turning in your syllabus quiz and saying hello to your classmates. We're going to be using discussion board quite a bit in our class, so sometimes it's nice just to get a little bit of an introduction of who's in here because we're going to be responding to each other's work throughout the semester. I want to give you a little bit of insights about what's going to be happening in week 2. And with week 2, what we're going to be doing is really trying to get a basis of a foundation of learning and learning theorist. And so for the first component is going to be a little bit of a discussion board just about the idea of primary roles and attitudes about education. And I'm going to have you watch a little video about it and then just have a discussion about what your thoughts are. Just keep in mind, with many times on discussion boards, there is no correct answer. All it is sharing your perspectives, your insights, and your experiences and being supportive of each other. Now, the second assignment is called the Theories of Development, and it's a comparison chart. And so what the assignment's going to be asking you to do is to look at 4 predominant theorists in the field of education. And I'm sure that you probably have heard of them in some of your education courses, and you're going to keep hearing about them throughout your program at CSI and elsewhere. The one we're going to focus on is Piaget, Vygotsky, Erikson, and Kohlberg. And so if you go to the comparison chart, what you're basically going to see is a little bit of a narrated presentation, and there are going to be some readings for you to look at for each of the theorists. What I'm going to have you do is work with a graphic organizer. Now, graphic organizers are great whether you are in elementary, secondary, or college. The idea of a graphic organizer is to take a bunch of information and to consolidate it. And so when you look at your graphic chart, you're going to see about 4 boxes with Piaget, Erikson, Kohlberg, and Vygotsky. And what I'm looking for you to do is to identify some of their primary theorists or their primary concepts about their theory. I want it to be useful for you. And so if you just put basic terms like pre-operational stage or operational stage, if you don't understand what that means, then I would encourage you to expand on your comparison chart. The idea is for you to go through each of the theorists, identify, I would probably say 5 to 7 major components that you would want to keep in mind and remember about each of these theorists. And then what I want you to do in the middle is identify at least 5 items that you believe that they have in common about learning, teaching, and students. I anticipate that this assignment, the readings will probably take you about anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and I imagine the assignment is going to take an additional hour to do. So I encourage you to break up the work, perhaps work on 2 theorists, take a break, and come back to it another time before you turn in the final work. What we're going to be doing with this is it just helps us build the foundation about some of the theorists before we go on to the next stage, which is really going to be diving into more specifically about how human beings develop from infancy to adolescence. And so this assignment is really building that foundation about theorists, and then we're really going to dive into all the different age ranges for you to have a really good understanding about how human beings develop physically, cognitively, socially, and emotionally. As like always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, give me a call, visit me during my office hours. I am here to help and assist.